getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Good afternoon to you and yours. It is The Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, Double T, SportsNetwork.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Jeff, working on a Friday. Why? Because, as we have discussed last week, Choice Woodman does not work on Fridays. At all. In fact, if you need something done for Choice Woodman on Friday, the answer to that question is no. Sitting alongside Trent, Hilliard, Ben Portman, across the way, sliding slides, pushing buttons for us on the program. Give us your thoughts and conversations on the Yates Flooring Center chat line on the app or on the website. You can also give us a call on the Visual Edge IT hotline, 806-771-0973 on any of the topics that we are getting into today. And one of the big ones that we're going to be discussing in the entire show in and out, gentlemen, what was your best summer vacation? There are no wrong answers for this. Like, whatever is your best is your best. And I've been sitting here, like, I sent the show notes out this morning at like 10:40 or something. And I was sitting there going, well, what's mine? I spent a lot of summer swimming in summer leagues. I spent one summer driving across the country in the backseat of my grandparents' car with Hot Wheels on the back, doing the kid in the backseat of the car thing. And we went Tennessee and Illinois and Indiana, and I'm missing some place in there as well that we stopped for a while. And Arizona, and I know that this was a separate trip. I've been to the Grand Canyon. I've been to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. That's probably my favorite trip I've ever done. But it wasn't like it was like a weekend, a long extended weekend. It wasn't like a vacation.
A full-fledged vacation. Huh?
I don't know that I have an answer what my best is. I've got a lot of great memories. I think all of those would technically classify. But if you've got your best summer vacation, I want to know about it on the Yates Flooring Center chat line, TSportsNetwork.com. You got one just off the top of your head, Trent?
Well, it would kind of depend on, I think you have different ones for different stages of your life. There's the kid vacation, that you're taking with your family. And then for me, then there's the kind of the friends vacation, that you have once you finish high school before you get married. And then you have your current family vacation type thing. So three different stages with that. Of course, score points with the wife here. One of the best ones would be the honeymoon. San Francisco, we went on our honeymoon, and that was a lot of fun. Got to go see Alcatraz and the Giants back at Candlestick Park. And matter of fact, it was Deion Sanders' first night there as a Giant, the night that we were there. So that was a lot of fun. And then the old bachelor one, I guess, some friends and I, one of them being Dr. Mike Gustafson, took off and went on a road trip, baseball road trip. We did it 3 summers in a row, but this one particular one, we went 2 weeks, and it was 12 days. We saw 12 different teams, and we saw like 10 different games all through the Midwest: Rangers, Cardinals, Cubs, White Sox, Brewers. Even got in a Oklahoma City 89ers game in there. So wow. That was a lot of fun, just driving through there, calling up every long-lost relative that we knew. And
you can sleep on the couch.
Staying with them, making it, where we spent our money on souvenirs and baseball tickets, and a lot of those relatives took care of us other places. So that would have been a lot of fun. And then growing up, we took a trip up north, went to New York, Washington, D.C., and went to the World's Fair when it was in Knoxville, Tennessee, the summer of 1982. And so that was a long trip, and it was our last one with my parents and all that. My brother was graduating, and so it was the last trip we really took, big trip like that. So those would be the top 3 on my list, but definitely have some others that we've taken as a family. Gone back to New York City with my family, gone to Disney World, loved Disney World. So a lot of places I'd love to go back to.
By the way, I would have lost a bet with you of Deion Sanders playing for the San Francisco Giants. I was like, Yankees, Braves, Reds. I want to say he went back to Cincinnati after he took a couple years off, and I was like, no, how long did he play for the Giants that I just could not remember? Yep, like 52 games, like almost a quarter of a season or a third of a season. Would have lost
that last part of that season. So we got married on July 22nd, 1995, and so the game that we were at was probably the 26th or something like that. So it was his first game as a Giant.
Ben, favorite family vacation?
I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, was
wow. He's already locked in on this one.
When I was 10 years old, me and my family went to San Diego in the summer, just heaven on earth from a weather standpoint.
Yeah.
And just lots of activity and just so much to do there. Like, our hotel pool was like primo as can be, and better yet, like, I like to say that some of my top summer vacations also had some key sports moments because they were playing the NBA Finals there, and we got to stay there throughout virtually the whole entire time they were playing that. Like, we were watching Game 7 at our hotel restaurant one night, and on top of all that, we got to swim in the Pacific Ocean on Coronado Island. We got to go to Legoland, went to SeaWorld, and just so much to do there. And my next one would have been Colorado Springs in 2017, because that's also another key sports moment, because that was when Kevin Durant announced that he was going from OKC to Golden State. And I remember sitting there, we were watching a wedding planner, J-Lo's wedding planner movie, and I'm looking at my phone and I'm like, oh my goodness. There is another bad guy has entered the building now that LeBron left Miami and went back to Cleveland. So, and then last summer, it wasn't really a vacation. It was more of a working vacation, but I still consider it a vacation. I spent the whole summer in the Metroplex at Sky Ranch camps and got to minister to the youth all across that area, and it was absolute blast. I'll forever say that was the greatest summer of my life. And so really those are the top 3
awesome
of my summer vacations.
Yeah, I still don't have a good answer. The 3 days that I was at the Grand Canyon, we actually did the trip to the bottom of it. And we got to stay down at the bottom. There's a little, I don't want to say cabin. It's bigger than a cabin, but not quite like a motel kind of. But it's
right.
You get. I think I'm describing this okay enough. I can't remember what the term is. Seeing the night sky on a clear night from the bottom of the canyon, it's black, and then this river of stars is the only way to describe it. Is super cool, and all the views that you get when you're taking that route. Through down the side of the canyon on the back of a mule it's breathtaking. It's why I continue to tell people, if you get the chance to go to the Grand Canyon, go. Been to the Grand Canyon, go again. It is one of the few things in life that absolutely takes your breath away every single time.
I need to put that down then, because I've flown over it.
Not
going to San Francisco.
As cool as that is,
right? But haven't.
Magnify that times 100.
Well, that's what everybody says. That seeing it personally, it truly is grand.
Yeah.
When you see it, it doesn't. What you see on TV, movies, whatever, doesn't do it justice.
They
so
named that one right. We'll put it that way.
What time of day did you go down the bottom there, Jeff?
We started at 6 o'clock in the morning. We were down at the bottom by dinner time.
Wow.
So somewhat pitch black, to say the least.
No, I mean, you're out. We started at 6. You get from a path to get to the path. You start at the meetup site, and there's a path to get there. It was morning through the canyon. It was cool.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Bottom line on 100.7 The Score, Double T, sportsnetwork.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Jeff in for choice because it's, Friday. Coach Hilliard across the way, Slide and Slides, is Ben Poorman. He's the first voice you hear on the Visual Edge IT hotline, 806-771-0973. Gentlemen, if I were to tell you right now that the New York Yankees are atop of the AL East, I don't know that that would surprise any of us.
No.
It shouldn't. They're up on 2 games of the Tampa Bay Rays. If I were to tell you that the Atlanta Braves and the Los Angeles Dodgers are on top of their respective divisions, again, I'm not sure any one of us would be surprised.
No.
I don't know that we would be surprised that the Seattle Mariners are leading the NAL West. If you had told me, though, that it was because they are at 500, that would surprise me.
Yeah, no.
They're leading the West with a record of 500. That would surprise me. That is exactly what's going on. I've seen how bad everybody in the West has played. I'm not shocked by that as we sit here today. But if we're talking at the beginning of the season, the 2 biggest surprises are not that Cleveland is tied for the AL Central lead. They are tied with the Chicago White Sox. What?
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, if we were looking a few weeks ago, a team that was fighting for a wild card spot in the NL Central was the Pittsburgh Pirates. They have since fallen off a little bit. They're down 9.5 back of Milwaukee. Milwaukee's really picked it up. But there has been some head-shaking things going on in Major League Baseball this year. What's the one that's drawn your most attention league-wide? Not necessarily with the Rangers and Astros, although certainly there's enough there that you could talk about those as well. What's jumped out to you is just like, this is not what I thought was going to happen.
The Brewers doing as well as they're doing, I guess, it kind of surprised me. Being a Cubs guy, I thought the Cubs would have a better run at things than they're having right now. But Milwaukee's really just kind of providing a separation right now in that. So. For me personally, that would be the biggest thing. I think what you're talking about on the AL West, with nobody stepping forward and everybody kind of trying to figure out, are we going to be buyers? Are we going to be sellers? Are we going to be status quo? That's going to be a big thing to watch here in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, whenever we get up to the All-Star game and get close to trade deadlines and stuff, as to what is going on and how they decide what they're going to do with their position. Because you're right there and you could win the West, but what do you do after that? Can you really make any run at it, or can you leverage? Do you have enough to sell and get some things for your future? So I think that's going to be the big story locally for us to be paying attention to is what do the Rangers and Astros do as far as being buyers or sellers here in the next few weeks.
When you look at the wild card as we sit currently, Houston, Rangers, and Athletics are all tied with Toronto for the final wild card spot, which means obviously one of those teams is not going to make a wild card. Only one of those teams is going to make a wild card spot. But it's just which one of these teams wants to win it. I mean, heck, a month ago, Chuck declared the Astros season over, and they've gone on to get within a game and a half.
We know what that
West.
means then.
And some of that is having to do with the fact that it feels like nobody really wants to win the AL West. Or no one wants to win, maybe, in the AL West. Yeah. I know that's not true. I know that everybody, for the most part, maybe the Angels aside, with them being 7 games back, are kind of resigned to their fate. But the Astros are starting to get healthy, so they could be a decent team. Rangers have got to figure some things out. It's the home run or bust for them.
Yeah. When
it comes to offense, and your pitching's still been really good, except when it hasn't been. But it's still been 4 out of 5, and I'm not just picking on Rocker here, but 4 out of 5 nights you go out there and you've got a chance to win a game.
Right, and then Rocker comes out and throws a great game, his last outing. I think it was his last outing. About the time you're going, okay, boy, they just need to send him down, do something. Then he steps up and pitches really well. So, he certainly has that potential. But at some point you got to start getting it done, or take a different role, and so we'll see what happens. And they've got some pieces that they could sell in the short term on that pitching staff if they decide to go that route and probably get some things back. But it's such a weird dynamic because who's going to be the buyers, because the people who are the buyers have already bought and they're incredible. And so is anybody going to be able to challenge the Dodgers at all? What are we looking at with the Yankees? And so we just set for a Dodgers-Yankees series. What are we gonna have with that? So there's a lot of things of who's going to who would be interested and who's got the farm guys to send something to the Rangers if they were to send some of those pitchers out that way.
I don't think, if I'm in the Rangers or Astros for that matter, if I'm in their owner's box and I'm playing the role of GM, right? I don't know that I'm making a move. Either way, I don't think I'm looking to sell guys. I don't think I'm looking to buy guys. You're an okay team.
Right.
You're not a bad team. You're a good off-season couple acquisitions away, and I would say that from both sides of that, to really having a chance to make an extended run, whether it be offense for the Rangers, whether it just be some health for the Astros. The way that offense is clicking, it feels like that's a pretty good offensive club for Houston right now. That their big issue is keeping pitchers healthy. You're close enough that you get somebody in the offseason, you make a run next year. If you try to sell this year, you're hurting next year's clubs.
Right.
That's a case where you don't want to attack it that way. You want to be able to attack it where, okay, I am making myself better here without costing my assets already that I have currently. And heck, one game over 500 right now, and you're leading the division by a game. And you're a game and a half back out, or I guess you're 2.5 back out of that concept. A good weekend, and you're up by a game. I don't know that I can justify, if I was the GM, making a big move to try to bring somebody in if you're in the AL West. And that goes for Seattle, too, even with them being up by a game. Now, if I'm Cleveland, I might look. If I'm the White Sox, I don't. No. Only because of how young they are already. And the guys that they've got under control, you want them under control. They've done it. I can't believe I'm about to say this out loud. They've done a really good job of getting talent through the farm system to come up to the big club now.
Yeah.
And it's just been a while since that's happened. I think New York and Tampa Bay, if they can add somebody, they will. But I just don't know where you get those guys right now that are going to help you enough to try to catch up with what the Braves and what the Dodgers are doing. And you're fighting a mountain. You're fighting a Goliath who has a slingshot, as David. And you are sitting there throwing a fist up and like, hey, look at me. And they'll be like, thunk. And that's what the Dodgers are doing. And more power. I wish more teams would do what the Dodgers are doing. I do. I don't like the moving money of the contracts till after they're going to be retired aspect that they've done with some of this, or delayed some of these contracts the way they have. I don't like that aspect of it, but I have no issue with them trying to win every game.
No.
I have a bigger issue with teams that are like, the money we get in for Major League Baseball and the TV contracts pays the payroll, and the concession stands gets money in my pocket, and then there's parking, which is just extra tip money. Yeah, I'm good. Those are the guys I want out of Major League Baseball, not guys like the Dodgers. But I also am looking down the barrel of what is going to probably be a work stoppage for Major League Baseball.
Oh, gosh, I know.
And that's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, that's over and over and over again. It happens at MLB.
We're going to shift gears, get you back to Texas Tech and a big event that's about to come up. You could call it the official start, or the unofficial start of college football season. And are we the only thing to talk about in Big 12 Media Days? We'll find out, at least what we think, coming up on The Bottom Line.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Final one with Coach Hilliard as we are in the bottom line on 100.7 The Score, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Jeff in for choice because it's Friday. Ben Portman across the way, sliding slides on the board for us. He's the first voice you hear on the Visual Edge IT hotline, 806-771-0973. And Big 12 Media Days for me, guys, has always been it's the unofficial start of the football season for sure. Because, at this point, we're getting down to some brass tacks when it comes to what's going on with the conference, getting ready for football season. We're finally hearing from the coach a lot of times for the first time since spring football practice. All of those things go into it. And you also get to hear what's going on with the other teams in the Big 12. I'm paying a little attention to what's going on, but not a lot yet. I don't care what their starting offensive linemen are doing in the offseason to go to breakfast together. Those are the stories that get written right now, right? I don't really care what the quarterback and wide receiver are doing at insert whatever school you're talking about, unless it's Tech, and even then, not really as much as I probably should. That they're getting together every day and throwing 50 passes and then and running the route tree and everything else. Not paying attention to that for any other school. I barely pay attention to it for Tech, and that's probably not completely good on my side, but now we're getting down to it. As I was sitting there looking at Big 12 Media Days and going through what are they going to talk about this year, a couple years ago, well, I guess it was 3 years ago now, it was the loss of Texas and Oklahoma right before Big 12 Media Days that was announced. And then it was Deion Sanders coming to the league. Right. And before all of that, you had the Big 12 Media Days where Cliff Kingsbury taking back over for Texas Tech was one of the big stories in the conference that year. Clearly, one of the big stories this year is going to be Texas Tech and Brendan Sorsby and all of that. And how you don't address it would be impossible if you're Tech. And the conference is absolutely...
Or the Big 12.
Or the Big 12. Yeah, the Big 12 is absolutely going to have to say something about it somewhere. Right. That doesn't mean every school... and I'm sure several of the other schools will be they'll be asked about it as well. The media... The media machine is going to have to ask some questions about it.
Now, do you think they're going to go ask Cincinnati? Is anybody going to step forward?
I said this. We got asked this question this morning on the morning drive, and I replied to them. Rob Breaux is going. Cincinnati will be asked. That doesn't mean that Rob is the resident, investigative reporter.
Right.
I'm not saying any of us, or even some of us, are barely sports guys that ask questions at press conferences. Let's keep this clear. But Rob's a stir the pot guy. He'll needle somebody just for the sake of needle. He and Clint both, follow straight down that line. I have zero doubt in my mind that Cincinnati is going to get asked about it, at least a little. And their comment is probably going to be exactly what I kind of wish Joey McGuire would do. And that is, every time Sorsby gets mentioned in a question, have a stat answer that does not change. And I'm not saying that you just duck the question.
Right.
I said it this morning with Chuck and Jamie that if I were Joey McGuire, I would say something along the lines of, listen, he's one of my former players right now. He could give me a call right now. I would be happy to talk with him for 2 hours and offer him whatever help I could give him. I'm going to support him in every adventure that he does from this point forward. Once you are one of my kids, as I tell all of my guys, you are always one of my kids, and I will always care about you. Other than that, he's not on my roster right now. Well, what do you think about Sorsby? Listen, I love Brendan Sorsby. He's one of my kids, man. I support him in every endeavor he goes forward with. If you were going to give me a call right now, I'd talk to him for 2 hours and enjoy every single second of it. But he's not on my roster right now. Well, what do you think about the NFL draft? I'm not in the NFL draft. I'm worried about Texas Tech football going forward and just completely, I don't want to say duck the question, but wear out the media members asking the question.
Yeah.
The other part of me that I kind of wish would happen is the entire Tech crew, from whoever coach is taking. I don't think they've announced yet.
They have. The six finalists are here. I don't know if it's six. Six. Terrence Carter, Coy Aiken, A.J. Holmes, Bryce Pollock, Ben Roberts, and Sheridan Wilson.
Okay. I would want every single one of them in suit and tie, dressed to the nines, very professional. Every single one of them to say, when they get up to the podium, Coach McGuire, would you like to make an opening statement? I'm just here so I don't get fined. And just sit there. And when they ask questions, and pull that aspect of it. Be courteous. It's a great question. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Because that would kill every single media member that's there not asking about actual football.
You want to poke the bear.
Oh, we've already been poked. Maybe it's time for the bear to come out of the cave a little bit.
See, I go the opposite direction of, hey, let's smooth things over. Let's just be phenomenal and talking to the media and all that. We don't have to handle the Sorsby things, Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. We wish him the best, and we know he's getting the help, and Tech is providing that help for him and moving on. But boy, answer the questions, accommodate whatever, do that, because we have to win back the media, because they're coming in stacked against us. And it's not going to happen in day one of Big 12 media days.
Do you think you could say anything to the media and win them back?
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm a member of the media. No.
You've got to work
could
with
come
them.
in here and offer me $1 million, and I'm still not liking her.
The media just wants the story. The other Big 12 members is a different thing, but we don't care. We're not going to win them back. The only way we win them is when they beat us, and that's not going to happen. So we don't care about that. But the media, I'm still. They're still very important. It's taken on a different role than it used to be, but they're still putting things out there. That's why you still have media days, and so accommodate them, talk to them, do all the things. And that's where Joey McGuire is awesome. He's great at that, and his PR skills. And I love the fact that we're taking 6 guys that were all Red Raiders last year. So that kind of squelches any of that immediate transfer. Yeah, some of these guys are transfers, and they were, but they have been in that locker room on game day before for the Red Raiders, and so I think they're going to be great representatives for us.
Oh, there's no doubt. I have no faith in the people we're sending.
Yeah.
But turning the minds of the media in our favor.
Let them talk. Let them have it.
They'll like us when we win. Because we're going to make an awful lot of money for them complaining about us winning. That's when they'll like us, and then they're just going to say they hate us because it's more fun that way.
Yeah, but don't feed into a story. Just make the story about Tech.
I'm just here so I don't get
about
fined.
Everything else.
End of sentence. Every sentence. Just do it once, Coach. That'd be your opening statement, dude. We would cheer for you. I mean, we're going to cheer for you anyway, but that would be awesome.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Rolling through your afternoon on the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Jeff in for choice, because it's a Friday. Jamie Lind across the way now joins the program. Ben Portman sliding slides, pushing buttons for us, taking care of us. First voice you hear on the Visual Edge IT hotline, 806-771-0973. Rolling with our topic of the day of what is your best summer vacation story. Let us know on the Yates Learning Center chat line, because, Choice needs to figure out some things to do this summer with all of his days off that he has left, and I'm sure he would love to hear what you guys are doing. Jamie, it would be fair to say that we are now halfway through the Major League Baseball season, and there are some legitimate surprises and non-surprises across the league. I think I'm probably too close to one of them, and I acknowledge that. But I'm also not the guy that is, I told you they were good guy. That's not ever who I've ever been.
Yeah, because
I don't.
You're never positive pretty much about anything.
Well, not anything.
When it comes to your team.
When it comes to my teams. I'm not quite the, to steal a line from a Bills fan that I know, expect the worst, hope for something a little bit better. It's just I don't expect anything good. And when I get it, I'm pleasantly surprised. The White Sox are tied in the AL Central. Who let this happen? How did this happen?
I would say the Guardians is the answer.
Yes and no.
Because they've underperformed.
But the White Sox have also put some things together.
No question. No question. But I mean, going into the season, wouldn't you have picked the yes. Guardians to run away with that division? Probably?
Absolutely, I would have. With the Twins right behind them.
Or the Tigers. I'd have put the Tigers ahead of the Twins. But those two teams, as far as I'm concerned, have underperformed, and that's allowed the White Sox to get to the front of the division. But them being 3 games over 500, I don't think there was ever a time where I thought they'd be 3 games over 500 this season.
No.
Yeah.
Like even maybe like they sweep the opening weekend. Like that might not even have happened.
Yeah, I don't know who they played, but I wouldn't have predicted a sweep.
And a lot of it has been because the young guys have stepped up, and the guys that have been in their farm system that they've been getting ready to be major leaguers have come into this year and gelled and performed well. They also had a really big signing in the offseason, which doesn't hurt. I don't know what I'm more surprised, though, that is what's going on in the AL Central, or the fact that a 500 record in the AL West is the top spot by a game and a half.
Yeah, because it felt like Seattle was about to kind of take control, right, of that division for a while. They looked like a team that was going to be pretty good for a while. But they're not really taking control. They may still be on top, but they're not taking control. So that's a little bit of a surprise. I would tell you, I still think the White Sox are the bigger surprise. And, you touched on the off-season signing. Murakami's been, fantastic, right? 20 homers already so far this season.
Yeah.
And then Davis Martin's the other part of it. I don't think anybody expected Davis Martin to be battling for the Cy Young and to the right to be the starter in the American League All-Star game. And I feel like you and I are probably the biggest Davis Martin homers we know, and I don't think either one of us predicted that. So you got a hitter off the free agent market that's been terrific for you and really just brought a spark to that team, all the above. And then you add to that Davis Martin has taken a massive step forward. And I don't think those are two major reasons why the White Sox are where they are.
It should surprise no one as you look around the rest of the league. Dodgers are on top of their division. The Padres are behind them. I'm a little surprised that it's 9 games. Because I think the Padres have a much better club than what that 9-game deficit shows. But it's also for how good the Dodgers are and how loaded that roster is. The Braves have put together a really good offseason as well, and it's showing with their regular season here.
They just had a big-time down year last year, and I think that makes it even more surprising what they're doing. But I would definitely say they're the surprise of the National League. But you're probably right, because I think the Padres have a good roster too. The fact that they are that far behind the Dodgers, it really just speaks to how good the Dodgers are. And then in the Central, the Brewers have, that was a good team last year, and they're a good team again this year.
I'm looking around, and I know they're still technically in the wild card race. The other just kind of shake my head. Is this the Major League Baseball that we've been watching the last few years? Is how good the Pirates have been. They're only 1 game above 500, but they, much like the White Sox, haven't sniffed 500 since Barry Bonds was there, it feels like. And that was a long time ago. And they've always had some talent. They've just normally shipped it out before they've done anything with it to get draft picks and keep roster costs low. That's kind of what Pittsburgh has done in that vein. And they're 2.5 out of the wild card spot.
Yeah, and it's crazy that they're 9.5 back in the division because Milwaukee's been so good.
Anything else just jumping out at you for Major League Baseball this year now that we're at the halfway point?
How bad the Mets are, and we saw their manager get fired today because that's a really expensive roster right there. You would not have expected that. So that would be... Are they the worst team in baseball? No, the Giants are worse. Rockies are worse too. That's a really, really bad team. I'm with you, and then I think the division, the AL West, is a little bit surprising that it's that bad. Even where the Rangers are at 3 games below 500, it's a team that has a really good pitching staff. And what do we always say, man? If you can pitch, you give yourself a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they're below 500, and this team can pitch. I'm surprised at how bad their offense has been. I'm surprised how little of a chance I give the American League of winning a World Series this year, because I would take Dodgers, Braves, Brewers over anything coming out of the American League right now.
That's not crazy.
Yeah.
When you look at...
And I know the Yankees are missing one of their aces and the reigning MVP, but I don't know, they just don't seem to have the firepower on the mound or at the plate to match up with those three teams in the National League.
There are 10 teams in the American League that have a sub-500 record. Over half the league has a sub-500 record for the American League.
And you would think that probably plays into the Yankees being 16 games above 500.
But you'd also figure that would help somebody in the AL West, too.
Yeah.
That's where 4 of those teams are.
I mean, you really have just 2 teams, the Yankees and the Rays, that are dominant teams in the American League. Even remotely dominant.
They're the cream that's on top of the American League. I think there's some good teams. I mean, Cleveland comes to mind as a good baseball team. The White Sox are playing good baseball. I think the Twins are still a good team. They're just not playing like it right now. I'm just Braves, Phillies, Brewers, Cubs, Dodgers. Whoever comes out of the National League is going to be run through a gauntlet and has slayed dragons to get there. Even if you're the Dodgers and have the best arsenal that you can put money together with, they're still going to have to take out a giant or two. Not the San Francisco Giants, because they're already been taken out. But they're going to have to take somebody out to get there.
Yeah. Only 3 teams in the American League have a plus run differential. 3.
Yeah.
Seattle's shockingly one of them.
And it probably doesn't hurt your feelings that the Boston Red Sox have the worst record in the American League.
I'll probably get over it.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, Double T, SportsNetwork.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Thoughts and comments, conversation on the 8th Flooring Center chat line at Double T, SportsNetwork.com, or that mobile app that we just mentioned, which you can get for free wherever your apps are sold. And I don't think it's going to be a big surprise, Jamie, that Texas Tech is going to be the most talked about school at Big 12 Media Days coming up when it comes to the questions that are asked. I imagine there's going to be a lot of Texas Tech related questions when they get to talking with Brent Yormark in the big group, that the media room will be completely packed when Joey McGuire and company are on the big stage talking with everybody, that everybody's going to be wanting to be asking about the main topic we spent most of the summer talking about up to this point.
Which means absolutely nothing at this point, because he doesn't exist anymore.
Right. But they haven't had a chance yet.
As far as the Big 12 goes.
Right. They haven't had a chance to ask these questions, so that's how it's going to go. So if you were Joey McGuire, if you were the Texas Tech SID, if you were Kirby Hocutt, what would you be telling your guys on how to address those questions going forward?
Your guys, the players?
Your players, your staff that's going to be there. If you were Kirby, what would you tell Joey? How would you want him to handle it? What would be the comment, the guiding light that you would send them with?
We were going to do anything we could to help the young man, stand behind the young man, and do what was best for his personal health. I know that it appeared from the outside that we were going to be a better football team with him, and I get that. I understand that. He's a good quarterback, but the decision was not based on that. Now that he is not with us, we still wish him the best of luck, and if and he needed any help from us, we would do our best to help him if we could. But now he's gone, and I'm focused on the guys that are here.
That's probably the right answer. That's probably what is going to come out in some way.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking with Coach Hilliard in the last hour about this. I kind of want Joey to be, full suit, because he's going to have a suit on. That's who Joey is at Big 12 Media Days. when it comes to the national stage, when it comes to everybody that's, not the individual radio stations and TV stations he's going to do 100 interviews with, but when everybody's in the one room together, when the ESPN camera is focused on him and everybody's on the stage and everybody's the buzz in the room, I just wanted to pull out a pin and absolutely pop that balloon. And, Coach, would you like to make an opening statement? I'm just here so I don't get fined. And every question in that room only. Take as much time with every other media outlet that's on press row, and there's a ton of them out there. With every interview that he does that's not on that main stage, as much time as they want, go into as the question that you gave. But for the one room that has been against you since all of this started, the only quote they get out of you is, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
So basically you would be attacking the newspaper guys, but being cool to the radio guys.
There's going to be TV stations there, too. Like, all of that aspect.
Yeah, but it's more the newspaper guys asking the questions and all that good stuff.
And it's also ESPN that is part of this and all of their coverage of this going through.
ESPN is going to have him off to the side, too. I don't like your idea at all. I don't. You're trying to look like you're mature, and you're trying to look like you're not a Billy Bitter. You're trying to appear to not think that you're above everybody else, and I think refusing to answer any of their questions just looks small and immature, and you might be right in that they don't get what they want, but you're going to look bad.
They already think you look bad. They're going to write that you look bad even if you walk in.
If you just give the speech that I just gave, I think you look better.
But that's not the story they're going to write. The story that they're going to write, the story that they're going to tell, is they're just covering up the fact that they were trying to be a better football team with Brendan Sorsby, and they had no business defending the kid. And
so, Jeff, if you had beef with Ben, okay?
Who's to say I don't?
But Ben is a good guy, and he walks around the building being nice to everybody. But you have beef with Ben, so when somebody outside the building asks you about Ben, you're like, Ben's a jerk, and nobody likes him. He's mean to everybody, okay? Should Ben just stop being a good guy because no matter what, Jeff's going to tell everybody he's not? Or should Ben be who Ben is and be a good guy? And so I don't care what they write about Joey McGuire. Don't give them what they want. Don't give them the chance to be like, oh, look at this guy. He is a jerk. It was all about football. Look, he looks like he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, and now he's a big powder up there. And oh, you guys want to be mad at me? Okay, I'm not going to talk to you. Nah, you look immature.
But if Ben was doing that to everybody else, I'd agree with you. I would. But that's not who I'm asking him to do that to. I'm asking Ben to be rude to me in your scenario, because I'm the one saying he's a jerk. I'm the one that's spreading the things out there. Ben's not a jerk most of the time. Ben does his job. Ben does good things around here. Everybody that knows Ben knows that. And anybody who can look at the situation and say that, yes, Texas Tech is going to get something out of this, but they are trying to help this kid out. They are the ones helping him get the rehab. They are the ones doing all the things going forward. Oh, by the way, they were the first group of people that suspended him. That when you take a step back and actually breathe and let the situation flow, Texas Tech was the only school that didn't do anything wrong here.
You're arguing to the choir, so to speak here. This is, again, if you say nothing and you refuse to answer questions, you look like you're hiding something. That's why all along I have said in these statements that they have made, it would be better, in my opinion, if they had said, hey, we know how this looks. It looks like all we care about is football. And yes, if he's on our team, we'll be a better football team because he's a good football player. But that's not why we're doing it. We get the perception. Why we're doing it is to help this young man. And if you refuse to answer any questions, and if you walk up there and say, I'm just here so I don't get fined. By the way, you're going to get fined anyways from the Big 12. He will absolutely get fined, okay? He will make a shamokery of it, of Big 12 Media Days, and he will absolutely get fined. It will do you no favors, okay? But if you do that, you're going to look like a child that's covering something up.
Aren't you already being treated as a child?
It may be true, but it doesn't matter.
The one school that hasn't done anything wrong in this entire situation.
Well, I think there's
defend a kid that probably didn't need to be defended.
But how has everybody done something wrong?
It was 15-1.
Okay, Cincinnati's done something wrong.
Right.
You can argue that point. What have the other 14 done wrong?
What just attacked Texas Tech and not the other school in your conference that was a part of this?
Okay.
Where he came from.
But
where he was making these bets
them being
from.
upset that, I mean, some of them didn't even make public comments. What have they done wrong? Now, the K-State AD, yeah, you look like a moron. Okay? All right? Stop with the language and just make an educated comment, okay?
We heard the conversation that they were talking about possibly finding Texas
but we
Tech.
don't know who in that meeting said what. I don't understand why other 14 have done something wrong. You can say Cincinnati, you can make the argument Cincinnati's done something wrong, but them voting, I mean, again, them voting to punish Texas Tech if they played Brendan Sorsby, I don't know that you can say they did something wrong. That was their vote.
Couple of thoughts off the H20 Center chat line. I'm with Jeff on this one. Jamie, you're way off. I don't think Jamie's way off. We are disagreeing here. I don't think he's way off. That is the more mature way to attack this. There's no argument there.
Joey McGuire would look like such a buffoon.
But that's also why on the flip side of it, that you spend all the time with every interview going through it. But when it comes to the big one room, when everybody is together, when everybody was against me, that's why the one room I'm doing that in is where you're all in here against me. And everything up here that I've got with these 6 seniors who have done nothing but play football at Texas Tech. They're going to have to answer questions about a guy that they haven't played except spring game downs with.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, Double T, SportsNetwork.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Jeff, Jamie, and Ben with you for the remainder of your afternoon here on The Score. Hey, if you're not doing anything tonight, and you enter to win our a contest with our secret names of the day, you need to be out of King Louis tonight. Why? We're giving away $10,000. If you entered, that's all it took, but you got to come check in. You have to be present to win. 6 to 8. Jamie's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Chuck's going to be there. If you ask very nicely, you might be able to complete the morning drive business card trifecta. You got to be nice about it. That's all I'm going to say. Jamie's just thrilled with that idea, which is great as you're getting ready for Jamie's question of the day.
Time now for Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score. Presented by Connecticut of West Texas. Life's hard. Your water shouldn't be.
All right, talking Red Raider football here. I want you to give me one thing that you're nervous about for the season.
Can I say who your starting quarterback is week 1, even though it shouldn't matter who's going to roll out there to get a win?
It can be whatever you want. It may be on the field. It may be off the field. It may be, that you're nervous that the weather is going to be too hot. I don't know. Whatever you want to say. It's up to you.
I'm not nervous about the weather.
There's too many games, and going all the way to the national championship game will be exhausting. I don't care. Whatever you want to say.
I'm a little worried, not that you're going to lose the game, but concerned might be better, or curious might be a better way to describe me than worried. Of what your quarterback situation is going to look like until everybody's healthy. And that's going to be the key stretch in this is, when is Will Hammond going to be healthy? I don't think he's going to be healthy for week 1. Joey McGuire and company, and this is not a complete knock on them, I have no issue with what they have done in the past. When they start talking about the quarterback position all I hear is Charlie Brown's teacher. They could tell me that Will Hammond has been throwing a football around and he looks like Peyton Manning. And until week 1 actually gets here and they are throwing the football.
Peyton Manning in the regular season or the postseason?
Regular season.
Okay.
Regular season.
Okay.
Although he had a couple of runs where he was good in the postseason too. But
he won a Super Bowl where he was not very good in the postseason.
Right.
Yep.
He also won a Super Bowl where he was good.
Yes, he did.
He had a split. Mm-hmm. That he could tell me all those great things. He could also tell me that he's stumbling over his shoes and can't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time, and I believe both of them exactly is the same when it comes to the quarterback position at Texas Tech. When you get to actual game week and we see post-game comments about it, that I trust. Everything leading up before, it's all misdirection. It's all misleading. It's making you think they're going to zig when they're going to zag. I am here for it. As a fan of the Red Raiders, I want him to give no information whatsoever to any opponent about what's going to happen that he doesn't absolutely have to give. But all I hear when he says the word quarterback immediately afterwards is Charlie Brown's teacher. So until we see Will Hammond run out of the tunnel and take snaps as the starting quarterback, I'm a little worried how the starting quarterback is going to go.
Okay.
Ben.
So I'm kind of along those same lines too, as far as how the quarterback goes, but to the extent of I'm worried if the trend of starting Tech quarterbacks getting injured again, like a Tyler Shuck type story here. Now, we don't know if that's going to happen, obviously. Just the idea of it happening worries me. Just the trend continuing that Tech starting quarterbacks continue to not finish the season at all.
Get hurt. Okay. I'm going something that's a little bit, it pertains to on the field, but it's a little bit different. I just think there's been the fact that you're going to be everybody's Super Bowl means that there can almost be no let-ups. This team has a massive, massive target on their back. And I think there was already one because you won the Big 12 last year. But I think there's a massive target on the back, and there just can't be any kind of letdown because everybody's going to be gunning for you. And I bet we'll have the most attended road games all season long because people want to come and hate on you. And I worry. At the same time, I'm not saying that I don't think they can handle it, because in some ways I think maybe it motivates you. Yeah. But I'm just worried that there's this massive target, and just, man, they're 18 to 22-year-old kids or whatever. Man, you better be dialed in because they're gunning for you. And so I'm a little bit nervous about that.
When Shieldwood speaks to the team before Joey or after Joey, however that works in the locker room, I imagine that part of his pregame speech is going to be talk, especially on road games, is going to be everybody in this building that's not in this locker room is against you right now. The camera guys are against you. The broadcasters are against you. The only people that are with you are the guys that you've been fighting and sweating and bleeding with since the offseason started.
Yeah, and your fan base too.
But yeah, that's not going to be part of his speech.
Yeah.
And I think the Sorsby thing helps in that situation. Because while it galvanizes the opposing fan bases against you, it's we need to go shut these guys up because we know the truth in this room. That it does become it's us against the world mentality. And that when you turn that around and get to play at home, these are the guys that have your backs no matter what. Go get there. Like, at that kind of spin. And that's, we talk about how with the transfer portal now, do they get the hate that the fan base has for teams? Do they understand that Tech fans and TCU fans don't like each other? Or the Tech fans and West Virginia fans don't like each other? Do they get the background?
We don't like any of them now.
Right.
All of them.
But
all 15.
now they've got some skin in this. Even the transfers coming in, because they're going to have to deal with this. And it feeds into that team building and army building, however you want to describe it, of taking on everybody and shutting everybody else up. So if that's the one positive we get out of Brendan Sorsby, that it eliminates the worry for a letdown because everybody hates you, so now we have to go hate everybody too, might be worth it. I mean, it's close.
Should be a motivating factor.
Yeah. The second thing, if you're asking me a second thing I'm worried about, other than just your starting quarterback and how that's going to play out, are you going to have the offensive production you're expected to have with an improved, I can say improved running back room. You're just saying three guys that you had last year, you're going to have all three of them, we hope, and an improved wide receiving core. And some of that is quarterback play related, and some of that's going to be the talent on the field, and can they not have some of the grinding halts that we saw last year? You had a very productive offense that was explosive at times, and then you had an offense that couldn't get 3 yards if they were given 5 downs.
Especially some of the times in the red zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can buy your improved running back room because you've just added a guy to what was already really good. I don't know that you can sit here today and be so certain that the wide receiving core is going to be better.
You brought out a couple of guys for the wide receivers that
I know, but they haven't played for us. How are we so certain they're better?
I'm hopeful.
I mean, one thing's for sure, they all came into this program with experience as returners. So you know what that means. They're elusive in space. They're great at finding the open field to just go at it.
I think you could be better at the wide receiver position, but I don't know. I'm waiting to see on that.
Wide receiver blocking. I know it's a little thing, and I know that's
I thought Caleb Douglas was a pretty good player that we lost from last year. Yeah. And now I'm forgetting his name. Number 1, Reggie Virgil. Reggie Virgil. Those are 2 pretty good players.
They are. Mm-hmm. Also lost some good players on defense, too, that you're going to figure out how to make up. But the fallback has a lot further to still be the best in the league.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.